It's just very hard to convince me that pattern in your whole thought process around breaching bone is going to lead to more recoveries, because the things that you have to do to breach that bone is going to hurt you with lung shots, heart shots, gut shots, hindquarter shots. Every shot you make. Hey everybody, I'm going to talk to you a little bit right now about one of the most controversial subjects I've probably ever talked about, and this is Dr. Ashby's teachings, how they've influenced so many broadhead companies, how they've influenced so many people into shooting a small two-blade broadhead that's really durable, and the whole mindset is around trying to breach bone, and the whole philosophy is being able to breach bone. That's the wrong mindset. It's the wrong broadheads to be shooting when you're shooting deer or whatever animals you're shooting. These small two-blade broadheads just don't leave a big enough hole in the animal to be able to blood trail the animal. Like the ranch fairy, the hunting public, all these different really popular groups, and they're pushing these broadheads that are largely manufactured because of Dr. Ashby's mindset. And that is to breach bone, to be able to breach bone, to shoot a big man arrow that you can bust through bone and get your deer. Now, the reality of it is, and I've shot over 400 deer and probably another close to 200 hogs. The reality of it is, most good bow shots do not hit bone on the way in. They may hit bone on the way out. If you choose the angle right, you're shooting behind the leg, you may hit bone on the other side. The damage is done. Problem is, there's so many shots that don't hit bone, but do hit soft tissue or tissue that don't yield a lot of blood. Some shots that are a little far back, shots maybe, through the neck or anything. I mean, you need to really be doing a lot of damage in those areas and create a lot of blood, because most of us that's bow hunting, we don't have access to a tracking dog. And even is the popularity of tracking dogs has got bigger lately, but the very night you need one, you won't be able to get it. They're out tracking their friends' dogs, other people. Yeah, loyal customers' deer. They're tracking their deer. They're just not available as you would think. And a small broadhead is one that's going to probably need a dog to recover. Now, the majority of us, when it comes to recovering deer, we're going to have to do it one way, and that's finding blood and going from the arrow to the deer. If you're not thinking from the arrow to the deer, you're going to lose 90% of what you shoot. If you're thinking I can grid search, you can walk in palmettos in Florida, you can walk 3 feet from a deer and never see them. They can fall down in those palmettos cover them up, and brush thick anywhere, briars in Alabama, you grid search. I found out of 400 deer I've shot, I found one grid searching. So it's just not a reliable method. You're going to have to find blood starting at the arrow, assuming you get a pass through at the point of impact, all the way to the deer. That's the way you're going to find the deer. And only the way to do that is you're going to have to cut a really big hole. Now, all these broadheads, even Simmons, as a two-blade, does not cut near as big a hole as it does a 4-blade. When you put that bleeder in there, it adds one thing it does, it adds that little bit of friction, that little bit of push. Even though it's sharp, it's going to catch that hide and pull it, and it's going to pull it tighter against the other two blades. So the two main blades of a two-blade will cut a bigger hole if a bleeder's added, even a small bleeder. And it's just done got very, very hard At one time, all the broadheads, all the 2-blade broadheads had bleeders at one time. Your Bear, your Ben Pearson, all of them. Your Simmons at one time came with bleeders. But because of Dr. Ashby's teachings that a 2-blade is enough, everybody's got it in their head that a 2-blade is enough, and it's not enough. You start shooting these bleeders, and you will find out quick how much better they are. And I know I didn't cover everything. There would be a lot of questions. Hey, ask your questions. I can answer them. I got time to answer them. But there's just too much proof. There's proof in the pudding. A 2-blade by itself is not near as good as a 2-blade with a little breakaway bleeder. The bleeder, if you do hit bone, you still got a 2-blade, the bleeder just snaps out. But what I told you is the truth. You got to stand on the truth. When you know something's the truth, you got to stand on it and got to tell everybody about it. And this will catch on. This is going to catch on. May not catch on this year, but next year there'll be a lot more of you out there shooting broadheads with bleeders, and you're going to find out that blood trail is going to be that wide, a blind hippie can follow it. So there you go. That's it. Like it or not.